Three, two, one, action. I'm excited about this one. If you've
Mhm.
been watching these podcasts, you know that we only ever invite exceptional people. And I've got somebody exceptional for you today, Natasha from Euromonitor. As an introduction, you study the trends in optics, and you are the most senior person in optics statistics at Euromonitor. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, I do. I am. Thank you so much, Gary, for that introduction. That's very sweet of you. Um, I am, yeah, the Global Insights Manager for Eyewear at Euromonitor, so I lead the research, and I write all the content at Euromonitor, present to clients as well, and try and guide them through for strategic moves. But yeah, but we've known each other such a long time now. It was funny how we met, wasn't
Go
it?
on, you say the story.
When I was presenting one of my it was about 4 years ago, I was presenting one of my first global consumer trends um, presentation and panel discussions, and there was no one to do the moderating. Literally, the 11th hour, they pulled you in, didn't they?
And I'm so lucky for that. And it was quite good. And you asked me back again and again, so I'm
Yeah,
very, very grateful
and
for that.
now this year it's grown to treble the size.
And we pulled in some really, really interesting things. So before we go into the talks, I just want to focus on what you know. You know a lot of things. So you see, with economists, they almost can predict the future because they know what's coming down the line. And it makes such sense that if you were an optician in the UK globally, that you know what the trends are coming down the line, and that what a brilliant job you've got. What is the best thing you like about your job? And yeah, that's a good place to start. What do you love about your job? How did you even get the gig? How did you get into
How
this?
did I get the gig? So I have been my history is actually my background is actually in journalism. So when I was younger, when I came out of university, I studied Spanish. I'm very into Latin America, and I lived in Chile.
Wow.
Um, and for a year, as part of my course. And so I was very passionate about Latin America. And when I came out of my degree, I did a couple of jobs, but my first main job was to be an editor of a Latin American newsletter, which was very cool because they got me to, go to I think it was Paraguay and Uruguay.
Beautiful
It
places.
was yeah, so it was part of my job. I was traveling. That was fantastic. And then moved on to be more of a serious journalist on mergers and acquisitions at at Thomson Reuters. That it was Thomson Financial at the time. They hadn't merged yet. So that was a good job. Like I was mixing with lots of investment bankers and interviewing them over posh dinners and lunches.
Well, I have to
That was
pause you
good.
there. Did you see characteristic traits that were similar on high achievers? It's something I love. I love looking at high achievers. They tend to have similar. What did you gather from these interviewing these high-powered people?
No, it's just I was very interesting. You just become like accustomed to it. You don't find it like you don't feel like you're
Did
sort
you
of
see a link between them? Like, have they got morning routines? They say that high-powered.
yeah. I think a lot of individuals obviously they wake up really early, do a bit of an exercise, that kind of thing. Just like us.
Definitely, just like us. So then you moved on from there, and then what was next?
Yeah, and so then I just decided to move out of journalism, like straight journalism, and I found Euromonitor International. We are international, by the way, Euromonitor International, and so I basically applied for a job as an alcoholic drinks analyst. So people do sometimes get confused when I say that, but yeah. So I was an alcoholic drinks analyst. So I specialized in the alcoholic drinks industry. So obviously, when I went to, it was it's a similar. We've got so many industries at Euromonitor that we cover, all the FMCG, the fast moving consumer good industries. but also service industries and other industries. And alcoholic drinks is one of our big industries. And so when you go to the trade fairs, you can imagine it's a very, I did used to go to Excel, and it was a very different story then, going to trying all the vodka and gin and everything. So it was like, I didn't come back, that sober. So it was fun. But it's not like trying on glasses. But no, that was fun. I specialized specifically in beer and wine. And then I presented at conferences, etc. And then I moved into the fashion industry because we move it into, across industries that a lot. But my passion, like I did fashion, personal accessories and eyewear, but my passion was really eyewear. So I really, worked hard throughout the last, good few years, and moved up to the Global Insights Manager role. So, and yes, and in fact, today we are rolling out research for eyewear across the globe.
Wow. Can you give us some insights without giving away? Because how you monetize is you sell these in-depth studies, right? So without giving it away, can you give us a summary of what that looks like?
What we sell is subscriptions so people can get a subscription and they get data with it and reports and briefings as well. And also they get like the opportunity to, we want to build relationships. So as an insights manager, then we can, talk about what their needs are. I can present to them on different areas that they're interested in. But I think for me, it was so interesting going to those trade fairs recently, especially Mido. I really love that. You've been obviously before, but you didn't come to this one. But it was such a fantastic place to go and find out about the trends. And I basically, as part of my role, I have to guide the analysts and say to them what trends, because they're all doing deep down research in their local markets, and I'm guiding them and saying, look, these are the trends to look out for in the markets. And when they're doing the research, they have to put in order which ones they think are the top ones in their markets. So every market, like Japan, is going to be completely different to France, so every market has different priorities, what they look at. So in answer to your question about the trends, so I just found it so interesting when I was in Mido. I think it was the pavilion, the second pavilion, with the indie luxury bands. I couldn't believe the six massive pavilions.
You need 3 days to get around it.
Yeah.
And certainly
that wasn't enough.
That still isn't enough, and it's unbelievable. So I had just come back this is maybe 13, 14 years ago. I'd just come back from Milan, and I don't know if you know this, but the UK only had one trade show. It was in Birmingham, and it was biannually. And I was so frustrated with what the Europeans had compared to what we had. Made a big noise about that, and then I was part of the concept of 100% optical. It was an idea on a flip chart, and I said, but in Milan they do this. In Paris, they've got a catwalk. In Munich, they've got the students at the beginning. So I tell them all these things, and they wrote it all down. And I'm very proud to say I had a lot to do with 100% optical being in London and every year.
That's fantastic.
British people just didn't go to these shows. I remember just seeing maybe one person when I'd be there from the UK. Which is really different now.
They didn't go abroad.
No, they did not. They didn't go to these shows. Most opticians would have just very boring colours, very boring shapes. Now, you look at the frame you're wearing. It's so cool. I'm wearing a Kirk & Kirk.
You chose this one.
So cool.
I have to get some more. Another one.
Oh, you got lots of choice there.
Yeah, but no. In answer to your question about the trends, the one that I picked up in that pavilion, second pavilion, was really about, it's just magic. It was magical, I think, because each brand had their own story to tell, and you could just see, like, from just looking at, you didn't need to talk to anyone, but every time I went to each of the stands, my first question was, what's the story behind your brand? I love hearing the story, and often you get to speak to the founder or the creative director. It's just fantastic. So the overall kind of feeling trend I got from this was that it's all about storytelling. We have to create value in these luxury brands. You have to, show the consumer why it's worth investing in a brand. And that, for me, in 2026, is about the story of identity, heritage, emotional and cultural space. Like, it's just about storytelling. And there were so many brands there that you just looked at their stands and they had a story to tell. So I went over to LGR and spoke with the founder, and he told me his story about how he was at Etria, where he went, and his dad had a warehouse there, and he found this box of old, like, 1950s sunglasses, like, and they were immaculate, and he copied those frames, the style of it. And that's just such a beautiful story. And obviously they're very popular amongst celebrities and everything. But it's, and it's got a bit of South African
That's right.
influence as well. That's exciting. And then the other one that I don't know if do you know about Ross and Brown?
No,
Ross and Brown.
you've got me there. LGR, yes, we know, we were stockists of them in my Opticians, but nope, you got me there.
Yeah.
Tell me about that one.
So Ross and Brown, they're like they're Italian, but it doesn't sound Italian, does it, Ross and Brown? But they're Italian, and I was quite struck by their stand, because they had photos of, like, people, like, lots of different identities, like, all over their booth, and basically they base their brand, this vintage brand, like, style brand, but they have, like, they base it on specific iconic cities, so Paris, Milan, New York, whatever, and they do a lot of research behind this. I spoke to the creative director there, and, like, they go to the country. So Lisbon, for example, they go to Lisbon and they meet with lots of different people from different demographics to understand their history and everything. And they create the brand based on these personalities, and then they talk to them, and they've got quotes on the wall. So
my optical professionals, I speak to you. If you've got, say, 500, 600 pieces, that's how many SKUs you've got. And each one starts to look the same when you're putting them on faces. And then you stop at a brand and you say, oh, this is interesting. Let's put this on you. And the backstory of it. Now, normally with Dior or Gucci, they know the story. But when we're talking about something that's a little bit more bespoke or boutique-like, and you're putting these frames on faces, and, like, for this one, Kirk and Kirk, I will often say, well, they use a very special material. It never loses its luster. Oh, and the grandfather made glasses, and then the son made glasses. Now it's the grandson. Yeah. And all of a sudden, the frame takes an interesting dimension. One of my favorite stories, I guess, is a Hebrew lady. She's Jewish, called Ronit First. That's her name, Ronit. Do you know it?
Yeah. There's that it's like art objects.
That's right. So we were one of the first UK opticians to take it, because I was so taken with the story, not so much the frames. So she used to make pottery, and her theme for a particular exhibition was red and blue or something. Anyway, she said to herself, I'm going to paint my glasses red and blue. So she painted them red and blue, and she didn't sell one piece of her art. but everyone asked her about her glasses, and she,
Yeah.
well, I'm going to start making glasses. And because she loves animals, she used so zebras, pandas, uh, all the different animals. She would paint them in an animal style. And when we started to explain that story, they just flew off the shelf. And
Oh,
otherwise, there would have just been ordinary glasses, and you go with that story. So I'm sure people have tuned in to know what we're going to be talking about over the 3 days. So if you're coming
yeah.
on the Saturday, tell us about that Saturday. What are we talking about then?
So on Saturday, we're talking about comfort zone consumer. So it's basically the consumer who's, it's not about um it's not about it's about recalibration. It's not about like just, uh going out and having fun. It's about recalibration. We're in a chaotic world at the moment, aren't we? It's full of stress and anxiety, and everybody's overwhelmed. I mean, now that we've got like the choices on our phone, we're overwhelmed with all these choices, and we're overloaded with like the internet and everything. And comfort zones like about coping in the fast-paced world, and the consumers are creating safeguards, and we call them the comfort zones. So we're kind of talking about how businesses can support this trend and how they can respond.
Well, certainly, I can. I've built a business from nothing to over 1 million in an opticians, and I knew that if we sell a piece that is a little bit unusual, they would either get stopped in the street, or people would ask them, "Is that unusual?" And we've got the founder of Pop Specs coming on, and he's so passionate about taking people out of their comfort zone, spending time and investing time in them. So you if you come along to that talk, we've got a really strong panel. Who else have we got on there? We've got
Grace Downs from Exotica. Yeah, so we're basically looking across the spectrum from like the affordable, glasses to the luxury or more design-led fashion. And I think that's an interesting look, because you can see that this trend works across the board. And also for Pop Specs, because he's got this amazing price model where it's £75, like a fixed model starting at £75, and also he does it in 20 minutes. It's for people who are like looking to be cost effective, and it's I was saying about the world's full of anxiety at the moment. This is a really good choice, to keep people calm about what's going on. They know what they're paying, and they know that they're getting a really good designer brand. It looks good. It's not just cheap, and it looks good. And he has a different design every few months, I think.
He's got the eye. He's a great buyer. He's a good buyer, and his customer service is good. West Mondotica are built on quality, on brand, on that bespoke luxury. So we've got something so interesting here. Now, when you go to 100% optical, you rarely get to tune into the thought leadership of what's happening in the industry. So we've got all the insights, and we've got something really interesting about comfort zone. And I've found this over the last 30 years of my career. The minute we edge our patients out of their comfort zone into a place of security, when they trust you, it's magic. It's absolute magic. So that's the Saturday. Who have we got on the Sunday?
Yeah, so
as if that wasn't good enough. Look, who we got the Sunday?
I know. So on the Sunday, it's more technical, isn't it? On the Sunday, we're talking about Rewired wellness, and which is about consumers who are really seeking tech-infused solutions. They are now more than ever, and in 2026, it's about instant results and delivering kind of self-care. So on that day, we've got
Jason
Rodenstock from Jason from Rodenstock. We've got Sarah Morgan, and we've also got Liz Lum from Cooper Vision. And what we're doing is we're going to go.
Such a great. Can we just stop there for a second? Talk about those three individuals. Now, if
Oh yeah.
Jason is your rep, I know people that absolutely love him because he knows his lenses. And they've got this new big range. It's just one varifocal. Yeah, I'm wearing it. I'm wearing the big range. So you will get to
The
come
big
and
exact range.
big
You're wearing
exact.
that.
And it's
Oh
all
wow.
about AI. It's all about like
Yeah.
knowing that the axial length for every eye is slightly different. Really good.
Yeah.
Now, have you
They
ever?
get the exact measurements and the quality of the, you know, it's so clear. The clarity is amazing. So you're wearing them right now.
I am. This is a big exact, and it really truly deserves the Silmo Award for best varifocal. It's amazing. It really is. There's zero distortions anywhere, and I'm comparing it with the same frame before you ask. So I see when people say one or the other, it becomes scientific. My blue pair has a pair of Essilor in it. So
Yeah.
Sarah Morgan she's so entertaining, so knowledgeable, lecturer, optometrist, and it was your idea, Natasha, to go from young
Yeah. Through life stage.
young controlling myopia all the way over to possibly menopause,
Menopause.
and we're going to talk about that. So that's where Sarah comes in. She's truly a great communicator, very entertaining. She's probably knows about lots of different things, but she's going to talk about that side of things. And then we got contact lenses, obviously, throughout the lifespan of all of that.
Yeah, the children myopia control, which is obviously a very big topic at the moment. One of the important trends that when we're rolling out to our analysts, that focusing on that.
I
So that's
guarantee you are going to walk away from that panel discussion with things that you can implement then the very next day in practice, the Monday
yeah.
morning. It'll be things like that. So.
I don't think like some of these things that it's not about investment. It's just about have to invest a lot of money. It's about guiding the consumer and just being very, very communicating very, very clearly. And also with these luxury brands, it's about like demystifying, just removing the intimidation. And also with the technology, it's about demystifying
and people want the latest technology. They don't want to go to an optician where they feel that the tech isn't there and things aren't up to date.
Yeah.
These opticians that say, "Oh no, I'm a traditionalist. I just want to stick to what I know."
Yeah.
You're going to lose the younger patients. So coming along on the Sunday to our discussion will keep you up to date with the latest innovations, what's going on in optics, so you don't have to. So now we've got the Monday. What's on the Monday?
Yeah. So the Monday is all about fiercely unfiltered. It's about unapologetic self-expression, honesty. In the past, we had trends like progressively polarized. We had green washed out about honesty. But 2026, it's just about pure unapologetic self-expression. And we feel that this is it's a very exciting trend. And we've decided in this one, haven't we, Gary, to focus on luxury. So we've got my colleague, Fleur Roberts, who is the head of luxury. She's a global insights manager.
So knowledgeable. So knowledgeable with Gen Zs and different generations. And she can tell a fake Gucci bag, as we spoke about. Wow. She is so knowledgeable. And it's sometimes looking out of our industry can really help. So I'm excited about what she's going to bring. Who else have we got?
Yeah, and then we've got Hayley Robinson.
Multi-award-winning Hayley. This young lady, wow. I reached out to her this morning, said I'm at the gym at 5 a.m. So can you see the link? Like highly, she is gonna be. I predict in 10 years she will just be the go-to North Star for us all. So brave with what the things she does.
You.
Sorry?
She's the younger you.
But and 10 times better. She's awesome. And then we've got, who else have we got on that panel?
Rebecca Thompson.
Who you might not have heard of as much, but you certainly would have if you're on LinkedIn. Her words are very powerful. She's really knows what she's talking about, and she leads the way with her frame. She's got a strong opinion of where we should be going for optics. So what a panel, what a one to finish on.
Yeah, it's a great
Wow.
one.
Wow, wow,
They're all
wow.
really different, aren't they? Although, having said that, they do link, you know, quite a lot, because it's all about, you know, the chaotic world that we live in, being overwhelmed and trying to find the comfort is a similar, you know, thread that goes through to the three trends. So that, yeah, it's very exciting.
I,
And we have a white paper basically that you can download and read the whole white paper, and it's absolutely free, which is fantastic.
and we'll have
So
that if we'll have
yeah,
some of you lucky people will have the book, the boss the book your boss doesn't want you to read. In there's a who's who of different things. This podcast, you've probably accessed it through that book, possibly. We'll make sure the white paper link is in the book.
oh, that would be great. Thank you.
That makes a lot
Yeah,
of sense. So what I've
yeah,
always found in optics, I'm a very creative person. For 3 generations, my family have never had a creative, all quite traditional. And being in optics and being creative, you get to connect the dots. So let me connect the
yeah,
dots for you. If you come along, you will start to connect the dots and make sure that you're ahead of the game. And I have to thank Euromonitor, and you particularly, Natasha, because if we didn't have you, our industry would just go stale. We would never innovate, and that's close to death, the opposite of growth. So a massive thank you to Euromonitor. Wow, we're so lucky to have you, and you
that's very
particularly.
very kind of you to say that. I really appreciate it. Thank you. But I'm very excited to see what trends are out there. I mean, if it's going to be similar to Mido, or will, you know, are they following on from Mido, or are we seeing, you know, and what about sustainability? What kind of materials will we be seeing? It's so exciting that you know, they're making eyewear from cigarette butts. Did you see that?
I have seen that, and
Yeah,
the
that was
fusion.
in Opti.
Yeah, the fusion of healthcare and fashion. We are completely unique. Maybe podiatry will talk about shoes, but they'll talk about really boring shoes. That we are very, very lucky to be
Yeah, that's
in
why
this
I love.
most exciting place, dentistry. But they're only talking about teeth. They want to go. Of course, you have to have
Yeah,
great teeth. We are uniquely paced. That we are fashion, where
and
we express ourselves through our glasses, and healthcare.
yeah, that's particularly why when I was in the fashion industry, that's why I really pushed to go, you know, I really enjoyed this part of the job, because it was a link between fashion and health, between fashion and consumer health, for example, because we also have, you know, the vitamins and you know, for
Well,
healthcare
I'm
health
old
as well.
enough. I'm old enough to remember that when I first started in optics many moons ago, there were no designer frames, none. And then
Yeah,
this gentleman called Giorgio Armani
yeah,
created the Giorgio Armani range, and everyone was so excited. It was in locked cabinets for the first time. We'd never locked anything really. You'd lock the Cartier away, but there was this Giorgio Armani, and there was an urban myth, and I've never been able to disprove it. The Giorgio Armani had a girlfriend that was really short-sighted, and he designed her a pair of glasses, and then in the village, everyone started asking for him to design their relatives' glasses. And he was in design college with a gentleman that was called Luxottica, and they paired together.
uh,
Now, it's just an urban myth, but certainly I used to say that story a lot, and it helped me to create some story behind Giorgio Armani. And then came Dolce and Gabbana, and we were so excited about it. I remember they were so different, because at the time, in the late 80s, mid 80s, it was just very shallow metal frames. Dolce and Gabbana came along with these big bold glasses. Who are these two men? And Madonna paired with them at the time and did some Madonna stuff. So it, to me, it brought Gucci and Prada and Dior and all these couture frames that were not accessible unless you were wealthy, and you could
Yeah.
suddenly put this stuff on your face. And
But eyewear is the entry level to luxury because it's probably the most affordable piece of luxury that a consumer can buy. And so it's a very important, you know, is an entry point for luxury brands who are selling them. But also, for us as consumers, we really it's exciting and it's part of your face. So, you
definitely.
know, that's the only part that everybody sees when
I don't
it's
think you can
in,
get anything Chanel, anything, not even a brooch for less than £400-500. So the
Mm.
specs are your entry level into that world. And if you buy Chanel glasses, the chances are you're gonna might get that beautiful bag to go with it. Who knows? Who knows how
Yeah.
they think?
Yeah, but it's just part of your face. So who who wouldn't want to invest, in something that's actually going to be on your face, on your face?
Definitely.
Handbag you can leave down on the floor and then not see it the whole night if you're in a restaurant. But your glasses, on the other hand, you're making a statement, And in the UK, they don't have, like, consumers don't repeat, and buy lots of the glasses, this for going out, this for like they do in Italy and you know Paris and France. um that we should be encouraging more, don't you think?
You're just making my heart sing. This is something my granddad was a tailor. I love fashion. I love dressing up to go to work. Like, I couldn't think of anything worse of going to work in a tracksuit bottom and a t-shirt. That would be awful for me. Like a little pocket tie, like nothing, just that little
Yeah.
extra, that little accessory. And that's where we want optics to be the ultimate accessory on your face, and it speak to you and it fit you well. And Natasha, again, I have to thank you. You are the best partner ever for us to present this in just under 2 weeks. If you're watching this and you have a comment down below, I'm sure either of us will respond, and you've got 3 days to catch us in real life.
Yeah, that at 12:15 on the catwalk. Just come find us, and we're really happy to have conversations and take the conversation further.
Yeah. Oh
Be
my
brilliant.
goodness me. Look, I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. I have enjoyed every second. Feels like we've only been speaking for a second because I've enjoyed your company. I enjoy you as a person, and we have
Oh, thank you. And you.
we've got lots of things that connect us both, the fashion aspect, the love for glasses, and I think that if you are like that too, you would have enjoyed today's episode. If you feel that you'd like to be in one of these episodes, reach out. You never know. And I love talking to people in optics. Natasha, I will see you soon in person.
Yes, thank you so much for having me on your podcast. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you making the time. Thank you. You're very busy right now, so I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Okay, have a great day, everyone, and just get some frames that really suit you and speak to you. There you go.